Alright, so I would like to explain lists since I didn't go over it in our last video. And so first I would like to explain what it's doing, and then I'll go over what you'll be seeing here. So first it's asking you for a name, so I'll just put in LB Studios. Then it says LB Studios hello, yes. So what it's doing is that it's then taking the input I put there and putting it onto the list. And the list is valued as messages. Then it's printing messages, which is why you see messages here. Now type in message. Yeah, so now what is this happening? After I add hello there viewers, it's then appending, it's then it's then extending. So first, actually no, let's go over this first. So it's then saying S2, because first it's handled as a string, because input always handles things as a string. So it's string S2, and then over here I'm saying S2 is equal to so now it's saying it's a list. Now it's saying that the value of S2, so whatever message I put in, hello there viewers, is now being taken as this, and then being set equal to S2. Then it's S3 is this. So I'm creating a new list called S3, and then I'm extending, then I'm saying messages, this messages dot extend by S2. So I'm extending it by the message that I added here. So that would be hello there viewers. So now, as you can see, messages has now been extended by hello there viewers. Now, the reason why I put this is that you can clearly see the difference, as it looks a little bit jumbled if it's just one after the other. So I did print one after each one so that I could clearly show the difference between each. Then I would like to go over. Then after that, here we have here we have messages extend by S3, which is why you see yeah baby sweet honey is now being added to this, so that now this here is being added to the value of messages, which was this, which is why you see it's now this plus this. So then next we're doing the next after that, remove yes. Now yes is right here, so if you know the specific value of what you're trying to remove, you can say remove yes, which then so now you see yes is here, and then all of a sudden, oh wait, it's gone. And then it says first message is equal to messages.pop 3. So it's going to go for the third. It's going to go for the third one. Now, I know you're going to say, well, wouldn't that just remove this? Why is it removing yeah? Well, that's because it's going backwards. It's going like that order. So now yeah is being removed. And then we can then say print, let's have you just print first message. Yeah, oh no, yeah, I put a space there by accident. Oh wait. Yeah, I meant to write first message for this, not fist message. That's my fault. Let's reprint that. Let's run that. Yeah, just give it a second to run. Alright, so now you see yeah being removed because yeah is the third one from the back. So it pops the third message from the back. Then we're here. So first what this is doing is that it's creating a variable called I. Now I didn't go over what I and range and all that other stuff was. It's probably going to be a little bit confused on what's happening here. I'm not defining I anywhere, and we're just using I for range. So what this says is that this statement right here creates a variable saying for I in range of len s. So it's taking the length of s, which is this. It's whatever variable. So that would be the length of lbstudios. So let's just take the length of lbstudios, length of lbstudios. So the length of lbstudios is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9. So then it takes the ord of s of I and then multiplying it by the len of for I in range of the. So basically, what a for I in range basically means that i's value is increased until it's equal to the value of len. So now I is equal to 9. So once I is equal to 9, it does I times ord s of I. So basically, what that does is that it says for what that says is that I. So let's say that we're going after L. L is first. Then so L. When you're doing lists, it does it weirdly where it's like the first number is 0. So S. So L would be. So the L would be 0, and then 1 would be B, yeah, and then 2 would be S, yeah. So basically, yeah. So it handles it a little bit weirdly. So like this would be the order of the list. So that's why so now when I is equal to 0, take the length. It takes the length of S. So the total length is 9. It's then multiplying. So it takes the len of whatever. So the first length is L. So the length of that is 0. So it multiplies it by ord of this. So what that does is that it's taking 0. So it's taking L, and then it's getting the ord. The ord is the ASCII value of a string. It's basically like the number value for a string, and you do this to get that. So basically, it's taking the number value of the string, which is whatever. It doesn't really matter since it's being multiplied by 0. So you're always going to get like 0 for that. So this is what's happening. This is basically what that's doing. And then it repeats that. And then for the next one, it does 1 times the value of it. So 98. So now we know for a fact that B is in fact 98. The ACI value is in fact 98. And then you multiply it, and then you multiply the next one times 2. So 2 times 115, yep, to get that value. So basically that's what it's doing. It's doing that over and over and over again until every single one is this. So every single one is this. So then it prints the modified value of prints the modified list values, which is this. This is a fully modified values, and then converts it back into the original string. So how is it doing that? How does that work? See, this right here is what I was talking about, dot join, which helps turns back into string. So this, first of all, just does that. So let's go over this statement here first. Let's go over this statement here for if I is not equal to 0, then for I in range of x, so this is basically doing what it's doing here. It's making sure that I is equal to the proper is equal to the len of x. So again, 0 for so again, since it's saying for not into that. So if how do I say this? So basically, imagine you're jumping. So this statement, it's basically doing this statement. So if this statement is true, then you're doing this. And then within this for statement, you're doing this. And then else, so if you're not doing this, you're doing this else statement, which basically just takes the length of s, because there's no real way to get back, because after you multiply by 0, because anything times 0 gets you 0. So there's no real way to know what the value was. So you have to take the s of 0. So like except for the first one, you would have to take the value of it, the value from the original string. So that's the only one where you're taking the value. The rest you're you're basically unmodifying it or decrypting it, whatever you want to call it. It isn't really an encryption, so I wouldn't really call it an encryption. It's basically just like modifying values. So then after that, so if it is true, it does this. So for I in range of x, so now I is equal to the current length of x. So for the first one, it does x of I. So it takes x, I, then divide it by I, because whatever value the x is, so 98 divided by 1 is 98. So now we know the IC value of 98. And then you do, now this what this does is that it turns ASCII values back into letter values, and then this turns letter values into ASCII values, and then it does dot join, and then it becomes a list. So now we have B, and then you repeats that over and over again until you have every single one down. So this is showing how to modify lists, how to do dot join, how to do ASCII values. This shows how to change lists, how to remove, add values from lists, how to create lists, and how to use for and I and range. If you have any more questions about that, I will probably in the functions video also go over for and range, because I didn't fully go over it in this video, since this video is more to talk about lists and how they work. If you have any more questions about lists, please put them in the comments below.